Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam, Trailokyam Sajaracharam, Tatpadam Darshidam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam, Tvameva Sarvam Mama. Pranavo Hyaparam Brahma Pranavascha Parasmritaha Apurvo Nandaro Bahyo Anapara Pranavo Vyaha. Pranavo, Aparam Brahma, that we have seen already, it represents both the Para Brahma as well as the Apara Brahma. This entire universe is nothing but Apara Brahma, but conditioned by the Upadhis. This conditioned Brahman also is Brahman only, but that is pure Brahman. You understand? So the fourth matra is pure Brahman, whereas this is not impure Brahman, but conditioned Brahman. So what is a Vaikar? Vaikar also is Brahman only, but expressing through the Upadhi called the waking body. Is it not? The body, mind and intellect through which it expresses, then it becomes a what do you call that? Ubadhi Upahida Chaitanyam. Ubadhi Upahida Chaitanyam. So Chaitanyam conditioned by the Ubadhi. Now for example, you can say this bulb is the Ubadhi, and the electricity is conditioned by the bulb. You get a light only as long as the bulb, not further than that. Though the all-pervading reality is there, you do not see it in the Vaikar, because you see only as much as the Vaikar is. You understand? So, Upahita Chaitanyam. There are two vadas in Vedanta which says Bimba Pratibimba Vadam and Avashchinna Vadam. What is Bimba Pratibimba Vadam? Bimba, the Paramatma in its purest form, reflects in the mind and intellect. Mind and intellect is the Upadhi. And when it reflects in the mind and intellect, some people say there is a reflection called Chidabhasa. But there are scholars who deny that. No Chidabhasa. we won't get into the arguments. Chidabhasa, that reflected light of consciousness creates the Jiva. Jiva is not born. Jiva is only the reflection of consciousness. You understand? Hence we call it Jivatma only. We don't call it anything else. Jiva Atma. Now this Jivatma, some other people say it is not Bimba Pratibimba. It is the Pratibimbam of the Bimba. It is the reflection of the Atman. Is Bimba Pratibimbavada. And this jiva, when it becomes, owns up everything, doer shape or enjoyer shape or knower shape, then we call it ego. Is it clear? This is from Drishya Viveka, that book. Now, some others say it is no Bimba Pratibimba and all is not a correct estimate. All are estimate of human mind only. Now, the others say conditioned by the mind and intellect, the light becomes jiva. That Atma Chaitanyam becomes Jiva Chaitanyam. Avachinnavada. It is called Avachinnavada. Avachinnam, conditioned by the mind and intellect. So these two vadas are taken into account, and here he says both Apara Brahma is also Pranava and Para Brahma is also Parasmritaha. So there are there two Brahmans then? Yes. Not really two Brahmans. One Brahman appearing through the Ubadhis, Upahita Chaitanyam, Ubadhi Upahita Chaitanyam, pure Chaitanyam, without any conditioning, is called unconditioned as it is, Yadharthyam, as it is. This is what you are seeing in the world is conditioned, but what it really is, not conditioned by anything, limited by nothing, Aparishchinna Vastu. Nirbhadiga Brahma, Sopadhiga Brahma. Sopadhiga Brahma with the Ubadhis. Nirbhadiga Brahma without the Ubadhis. Okay. So now Yunje Pranavo Habaram Brahma Pranavascha Parasmrita. So while you are meditating, what you are trying to do is to distinguish between the conditioned Brahma and the unconditioned Atma. Which is there? Is it not? What is the waking state? Conditioned Brahma plus the Ubadhi. What Ubadhi? Body, mind or intellect, as the case might be. So both together is called conditioned Brahman. Brahman is there. But we don't see Brahman, we only see the body. We only see the mind and intellect. We never care to know whether there is Brahman. All study of the scriptures is to search for this hidden Brahman in all of us. All study is for that. Study is not to know merely that I am Brahman. That even if I tell you, you understand by intellect. But it is not your experience because you have not searched for it and found it. That is why it is not your experience. It's only a paroksha jnanam, not aparoksha anubhuti. Okay, so what is the point of meditation? Make what is paroksha jnanam into aparoksha anubhuti is why we meditate. So here he says, one who in meditating upon pranava achieves his goal at once by the knowledge of pranava and thereby negating all duality. Now for one who cannot do that and has to rely upon the teaching only of his preceptor, the procedure of meditation is being stated. So the Taittiriya Shruti is cited here, Pranavo Aparam Brahma, Pranavascha Param Smritaha, Apurvaha. It is Purva means in the past. It is not there in the past. Or Apurvaha. It has no beginning. There, here Apurva means what? That which has no beginning. Apurvo Anantaro. Anantaro. Bahyo, Anaparaha, Pranavaha, Veyaha. So many descriptions are given. In highest Brahma. Pranava is beginningless, Apurva. In other words, costless. Costless. Brahman? Costless only. Costless, cost also we can't say. That is only one way of saying causeless. It doesn't have a cause. It doesn't have a purvam. Apurvam. Apurvam means that which has no beginning, beginningless, apurva, causeless otherwise. Anantara, having nothing of a different class from it. Meaning thereby, the Vedas are not there. What Vedas? Swagata Veda, Vijadiya Veda, Sajadiya, Vijadiya Vedas, and Swagata Veda is not there in Brahman. In other words, there is no other Jadi called Brahman. So then what to do? There is no Sajadiya Veda. There is no Vijadiya Veda, because no Jadi also, nothing is equivalent to Brahman. You can't search for it there. Niravayavaha, hence Swagata Veda is not there. So all that is pointed out there, Anandara, having nothing of a different class from it, Abhaya, Abhakyaha, having nothing external to it, having nothing internal to it also. Nothing equal to it or other than that, or what to say, apart from it. Abhakyam means what? Not apart from it there is nothing. Everything is that alone. So nothing external to it, abhakyam, anaparaha, having nothing, anapara, coming out of it. Nothing has come out of it. It is not born from anything, nothing has come out of it. So what is Brahman actually? Is it a cause or an effect? Neither. You understand? That you must understand very clearly. Karya Karana Vilakshanam Brahman. It is neither a Karya nor a Karana. Why it is not a Karana? It is not a Karanam for anything. Because according to Gaudapada, nothing is born. So of what? And the waker, deep, dreamer, deep sleeper, they are all mrisha. They are all mithya. A mithya effect must have a mithya karanam only, not a real karanam. So Brahman is not the karanam. You understand? The rope is not the karanam for the snake you saw. Is it? Possibility. That is possibilities in your head. Actually. Really. Possibility. The rope never said, I am going to appear like a snake now. Did it? See, interpretation, there will be so many defects. You can't do anything about it. Negated. It is in the rope, we can't say. Rope was misunderstood as snake, that is all. Rope was misunderstood as snake. What is it called? Misapprehension. The non-apprehension of the truth.
Non-apprehension of the Brahman has given rise to the
misapprehension of the world.
All this is in our
Head. The rope is, you see, is rope a karanam for the snake that you saw? No. That I did not understand the rope is the karanam for Brahman, for the snake. That I did not see the rope is the karanam. So, karanam is where? Maya only. It is Maya. It is the avidya that leads to creation. Rope did not create the snake. From the rope no snake came. From your head only it came. After it means it did not give rise to something other than that. Not only all pervading, the one and only. The one and only thing is Brahman. It cannot give rise to a second thing, a second entity. It cannot give rise to. So anaparaha. Nothing external to it. Anaparaha, having nothing after it, that is having no effect from it. It is neither a cause nor a effect. It's neither karyam nor karanam. There, if I did not see the rope there, I would not have mistaken it. But the snake itself was born out of your ignorance, not born out of the rope. Or somebody else sees it as a garland. Somebody else sees it as a bhuchidram. Somebody else sees it as water. You understand? So, it does not have any reality. The snake I saw in the rope has no reality. Is it not? Similarly here he says, Anantara, having nothing of a different class from it, that is Sajadiya Bedam, is not there. Having nothing extra, Abhahyaha, Vijadiya Bedam is not there. Then Anaparaha, having nothing after it or having no effect from it. Hence, in Sogata Bedam also is not there in Brahman and is changeless ever. Always the same. Why we give these descriptions again and again? So that you will go on thinking about it. It's difficult to make you think, The moment you go out of that, I don't know what you will be thinking. I wish I can see your mind. I have reached home only. When you are packing only, you have reached home. And they will think what to buy for my child, what to buy for my wife, what to take for them to eat. Already reached home. Understood? So, again and again bring the mind to the thought of prayer. That. Okay. So he says, Naparaha prana. If at all it is said in the book, that must be in some other context that we must know. There will be always so many different contexts may be different. Pranava is both the lower and the highest Brahma. Bhashya says, when from the point of view of the highest reality, the padas of Atma and matras of Om disappear, the Atma is the highest Brahma only. It is Apurva, having no prior cause. It is Anantara, as it has nothing which is of a different class from itself. It is Abhahya, as nothing external to it. It is Anapara, as it has no karya or effect. It is both inside and outside, without cause, like salt in the water of the ocean. Bhashya is saying like this. Very beautifully he has translated, so I thought I'll read it. Oh, what is that? That is Brahman. The causeless cause. What is its relationship to the world that we see? Nothing. Relationless relationship. There is no relation whatsoever. It shines in all its glory, self-effulgent truth. And he says, so how are the meditators of Mantabuddhis to meditate on Om? The reply is that Pranava is both the lower as well as the highest Brahman. You don't have to meditate on it as the highest Brahman only. You can also meditate it as the lower Brahman, Apara Brahman. See, looking at the whole universe and seeing the presence of the Brahman in each and everything. That is meditation. That is a open eye meditation. You had seen a sarpa sometime. Not in that. Not in that rope. But you have seen a sarpa some 10 months before. Looking like that. That is why we are making the mistake. The rope is looking like a sarpa which you have seen sometime in your life. Where you have seen the silver sometime. And you are seeing it in the shell. In the shell itself there is no silver. You understand that silver was seen in some other place at some other time. Now I am equating with it because both are shining. Both have some samanyam. So in the same way, the rope has got the body, structure of a snake. So you misunderstood it. So you misunderstood.
You don't misunderstand the rope as a tree.
You understand? Only something which looks like a rope. Only in that you will have misunderstanding. But you will not say that that is a tree, we will not say. It's not a tree.
Another example, tree and ghost.
Oh, okay. That you know, I am not telling it. But you know it already. You see a post and you mistake it for a ghost. You cannot say, in the post there is the ghost. It is not there.
What is it called in Sanskrit? We always
Sthanu.
understand post. So what is it in Sanskrit?
Sthanu Purusha. Sthanu means the post. Purusha is the being whom you saw in that. And not only you saw it, you have seen everything about a ghost. Its teeth, projecting outside, and its burning red coal eyes. All types of things we have seen, which are all imaginary things. Sthanu is the truth. Purusha is not the truth. Similarly, rope is the truth. Snake is not the truth. Snake is created by avidya. Similarly, you take the same example and put it for Brahman is not known at this moment. Hence, I see the world and say this is real and there is nothing real other than this. Our understanding is that. You are moving from untruth to truth. At this moment, I think it is real. The teacher says it is unreal. You are not even ready to accept it. I had so many students who used to argue with me. No, how is it not real? There, see, I can touch you. And one lady, she pinched me here and said, is it real or unreal? Not joking, it really happened. She's a good friend of mine. That is why she took the trouble.
The elephant story with the Shishya and the Guru.
All those stories I have told you so many times that I don't like to repeat it. Now at least Mandukya let us do without stories, I thought. What is not real? Let us get the hilt of it. What is not real? Nama Rubas are not real. This Nama Rubatmakam Prapancham is unreal. But if you are seeing only Brahman in everything, there is Brahman, then that is real. That is the Samyak Drishti. Only Brahman is real and the world that appears before me is unreal. And for an unreal world, Mrisha world, we suffer so much.
Because we have not seen the reality of it.
So then, let us say, this is an old Vadam. Don't go into it again and again. I think you like that serpent. I think you love that serpent. So that anyway, we should not to be perfectly grammatically correct. World is not asat because it is there for those who see it. Those who experience it. For them it is real. Now we go to the para, and that goes well with all the attributes. Now at least we have made one step ahead, in the sense that we have come to the understanding that the BMI, though not, they are only Jadavastus, but they are enlivened by the pure Atma. And makes it a waker, makes it a thinker, is that clear? That is enough. That means you have made the first step towards the truth. Okay? So, that waker is none other than the waking body and the indriyas, plus plus conscious, plus the Atman. Without the Atman, you cannot say, I am the eye of the eye, I am the ear of the ear, I am the nose of the nose. There? Cannot. Have you understood? So, just don't think that all this world is unreal and then you are make a division like that and then you say Brahman is all pervading. How can you be? How can you do that? If it is all pervading, it is here also. You understand? Some teachers, they get into koyappa, we say in Malayalam. Because trying to explain this, they say the world is also Brahman, so there is nothing to differentiate. But in the initial stages, this Atma and Atma Vivekam is very, very important. When a student has just entered the hall of Vedanta, Atma and Atma Vivekam he has to cultivate. Then only you come to know there is no Anatma Vastu at all. Everything is nothing but Brahman in another form. Is it not? The Pancha Mahabhutas, where did they come from? So when you take anything to its logical end, it will end in Brahman. Brahman itself has become this whole entire universe. There's 14 words, so says the Puranas. And Brahman itself has become all the beings in this world. Beautiful stories are there in Bhagavad, illustrating this. So, inverted comma. Now we go to the next, because if you go on arguing this, there will be no end. Sarvasya pranavo hyadir madhyamantasadaiva cha evam hi pranavam jnatva vishnude tadanantaram. Pranava is the beginning, middle and end of all. Which Pranava? Pranava is the middle, end. When can you say that? Is the beginning of everything. Is the end of everything. Is the... To what is being compared? Then why you are saying, But when you say Pranava is the beginning, the end, the middle of everything. Brahman is compared to Atma Chaitanyam, Atman. Brahman with the three matras are compared to Atman with the three padas. You understand? So, what is there in the beginning? Brahman alone. What is there in the middle? Brahman alone. What is there in the end? Brahman alone. In that sense only we will understand that. So he says here, in the Bhashya, Shankara says, Pranava is the beginning, middle and end of all, that is, of the entire phenomenal universe, including sky, etc., which appears as if created in the same way as magician creates illusory elephant, or as is an illusory snake superimposed on a rope, or like a mirage, or like a dream. Without undergoing any change in itself, Pranava appears to create, sustain and destroy the illusory superimposed phenomena and remains intact and distinct as its substratum. So, all this qualification is that of Brahman, not Pranava. Because Pranava is made to have tadatmyam with Brahman, you are taking the qualities of Brahman and superimposing it on Om. Is it clear? So, in that sense, Pranava is standing for, as tadatmyam with Atman. Atman is the beginning, Atman is the end, Atman is the middle of the entire manifold universe. That is what is said there. Pranava appears to create, sustain and destroy, not Pranava. So much tadatmyam is given for that meditation, Minchubu. Not Pranava is separate from Atman. Pranava is Atman. Not even Pranava is like Atman, no. Pranava is Atman. To make it sort of drive into your head only, he is saying Pranava is the middle, Pranava is the beginning, Pranava is there. Pranava is there. In other words, it is Atman, the self. Okay. Appears to create phenomena and remains intact. Brahman's quality, whatever it appears to be, it itself never changes. There may be hundreds of worlds in this universe, but Brahman never changes. There is no modification in Brahman. Purna mataha, Purna mida. That is Purna, and now we have taken the world, and that too not one world. So many worlds. So now power Brahman has become Krishangaha. Is it so? Oh. No change. This what you are seeing is also nothing but Brahman, and that Brahman, Purnamidam. Idam. All this is Brahman. Purna Adaha. That also is Brahman. And when you remove infinity, what is Brahman? Infinity. And what is this world? Also infinite. Now infinity minus infinity is, who said? Learn mathematics once more. Infinity minus infinity? Infinity only. Purnat Purna mudachyade. Purna meva avashishyade. A wonderful thing. Mathematics also they knew. And if you meditate on this one thing only, you go. Meditation is what? Thinking around an object again and again. So now, is it clear to you that Om is not different from? Tadatmyam means it has attained oneness with the, because it has got all the pointers of Brahman in it. Hence, so he says here, one who knows Pranava Atma in this way. Pranava Atma. Now he says, Bhashya says, Pranava Atma in this way, like the magician, attains immediately that Atma Bhava, union with Brahman. One who meditates on Om and considers Om as nothing but Pranava as nothing but Brahman. By such constant meditation, you attain Brahman very quickly. Understand? So what do you attain? Atma Bhavam you attain. So this identified with the individual Atma, the Turiya is described as Apurva, etc. And this Kariga states the reason for this and adds that one who knows this becomes Kritakritya, attains his final goal. All created beings depend on Pranava for the birth, sustenance and destruction, but the Parinama Vada, real birth, etc., that is real modification of Pranava is rejected, and Vivarta Vada only is accepted by Gaudapada. Gaudapada never believes that a world was born. Ajadam. Ajadam means not born. When was this world born? And unanswerable questions. Never born. We may think it all so funny because we are all modern scientists. But the scientists only are in deep soup. If you read some of the books, you will really know. They also don't know. They are going still searching for the building block of the world. They are still searching, experimenting only. Now they broke up in that neutron. Once Anu was broken, and then there were three Trimurtis inside. And there was space. Above all, there was space. Now they have broken up in that neutron. And still there are little Anavastha is there. Now in neutron, that one of the pieces of neutron is broken, again there will be space and something going around it. Because this going round only creates energy. Some of the books, the science books also you must read, then only you will understand how the Hindu rishis were so sure about this truth, which even the scientists of modern times are not. It's very interesting actually, but to compare both. Anyway, so it's proper that from the transcendental point of view, the highest reality, Pranava, is as good as Atman. The self is described in the previous Kariga as Apurva, etc. In the Bhashya it is stated that one who knows this immediately becomes liberated, attains Atma Bhava. Takshanadeva. The reason is that knowledge is the direct means for liberation. Bodhonyas sadhanebhyo is achat mokshaika sadhanam. Needs no other assistance like combination of jnana karma, because there are so many people, the karmis, who say some karma has to be there. Jnana alone is not sufficient for knowledge. Now see, you have seen the rope in the torchlight. Of course, putting the torch is a karma, let us say. Even if it is not, for some reason you looked at it correctly and you saw it is the rope. Okay? That knowledge itself will remove your snake. Never again you will see it as snake. Is it not true? The mere knowledge, has it not removed? Did you need some other ritual to remove that snake? Suppose you say, no, I was doing one ritual called Sarpaya Namaha, please go. Punaragamana. We don't want like that. If you say, don't come back, oh snake. Do we say? Not necessary. No other means of knowledge is required. I have understood. That is the rope. Period. Nothing else. Okay, have you understood this now? That Atma Bhava is attained, that which is described as Apurva, etc. You will attain when your identification of Omkara matras with the padas of the Atma. Total is that. It's not different. Tadatmya misunderstood. Then immediately you realize Brahman. That is what he says. That is what Dasha Shruti says. That is what Bhashya says. I am not saying anything. I am a mere referee. I don't say anything. Okay. Then he says, Pranavam Hishwaram Vidyat Sarvasya Hridi Samstidam Sarvavyapinam Omkaram Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. So, Pranava is to be known as Ishvara, abiding in the heart of all. Omkara. Omkareshwara. We say, some temple is there, Omkareshwara. Ujjaini, that is where it is. And Here he says, nay, Pranava is not merely the Atman, Pranava is also the Saguna Brahma. What is that? Ishvara. See where all the whole gamut is taking into Pranava is not merely the Parabrahma without qualifications, without name, without form, without Kriya. He is also Ishvara. Ishvara is what? The unmanifest becomes manifest. It is called Ishvara. So, it's the Ishvara also. In case one of you is a Aradhaka, is a Upasaka of Ishvara, then you can attain Ishvara by meditation on Omkara. That is the meaning there. Omkara is Ishvara also. Omkara is Brahman also. In fact, there is no greater pratigam than that. So he says here, should be known as Ishvara abiding in the heart. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Hrideshe tishtadi. Hrideshe tishtadi sarvabhudanam. It is there in the Gita. I am the one who stays in the heart of everyone. Hrideshe Arjuna tishtadi. Hrideshe. In the heart space, I am there. Bhagavan says. We have searched for him everywhere. Except in the heart space. So now you take a U-turn from wherever you are and come to own yourself. Take a U-turn. Turn towards yourself. Don't think he is in the temple. If I go to Tirupati, if I go here, if I go there, I will meet God. A man who has never met God in his own heart is not going to meet him. Have you understood this? What Vedanta says? Isha darshanam, atma darshanam. Ramana says, this Isha darshanam is only seeing oneself, realizing oneself. When you realize oneself, you have realized Ishvara also. You have realized the Saguna Brahma, you have realized the Nirguna Brahma. Both. So, Omkara Matva, having realized the all-pervading Omkara, the wise one does not grieve. Having understood this, having realized the truth of Atma, Atma Jnanam has taken place in a man, he never again grieves. Grieves means there is nothing to grieve about. He has gone beyond all sorrows. He is beyond all. You see, even the central theme of Gita is what? Shoka Moha Nivritti. Shoka Moha Nivritti is the central theme of the Gita. That Shoka Moha Nivritti, Sarvabhudastamatmanam Sarvabhudani Chatmani Sampashya. In the Ishavasya Upanishad, the Rishi says, having attained that, what is a ka shokaha ka mohaha? Where is the shokam for such a man? Where is moham? He is never deluded after that. Ka shokaha ka mohaha ekatvam anuvashyate. This is only oneness. What is that oneness? Universal oneness. I tell you, the greatness of this concept which India has offered to the world can never be underestimated. That all of us are one alone. The one Atman expressing through many, many upadhis. This is the contribution to human knowledge from India with love. From India with love. Alright? Okay. Na shojadi, thereafter in nakka shokaha kash mohaha ekatvam anuvashyate. That has to be understood when he had said na shojadi. And now he says, amatro nandamatrascha Dvaidasyopasamah Shivaha Onkaro vidido yena Samunirnetaro janaha Amatro anandamatrascha dvaidasya upasama shivaha Onkara is the Turiya. Turiya avastha is what? Amatra. Amatra Om. There is no matra in it. He who has known Onkara as Amatra, measureless or soundless or without parts, any meaning you can take. Soundless, measureless or partless. As also possessed of infinite sounds, Anandamatra. Om has only 4 matras. But what is really the Atman, the self? It is Anandamatra. Sahasranama, Anandanama, Vishnu Sahasranama. Sahasranama or Anandanama. Anandanama means endless. Is the names of the Lord. Endless are the bhavas of the Lord. So he says here, Anandamatra. You cannot say it doesn't have any matra. Anandam in India, Amatra means 0. Anandamatra means infinity. In fact, 0 and infinity are the, again, with love from India. They are given to the world. Our contribution to world's knowledge. That is Brahma. You can call it Amatra, correct. Shunya, the Buddhists say, but when their Shunya, they themselves did not know what they meant by it. Then others never knew. 0. Amatra, where there is no gati, where there is no movement, where there is only silence. We saw yesterday. Now he says, Amatra, Anandamatrascha, but it is also Anandamatra. It is both infinite and both 0 also it is. Amatra also it is. Anandamatra also it alone. Anandamatrascha, Dvaidasya upashamaha. And what is when I realized this truth, Dvaidasya upashamaha. There is no Dvaidam thereafter. There are no 2. There is only one infinite reality. Nothing else is there. Dvaidasya upashama. Shivaha. Shiva without sorrow. Auspicious. That is Shiva. Not the Shiva Om Namah Shivaya that you say. Shiva here means auspicious. Onkaro vidido yena. One who knows Onkara like this, in this way, in what is said so far. One who knows, understands Onkara and the Amatra Om in this dimension. He knows the truth. And he says, Vidido yena sa muni. And what does he do? He becomes muni. Muni means manana shilavan muni. One who has become silent. Why he is silent? He is not able to communicate that experience to others. It becomes so difficult to communicate. Hence, first we talk like this about Brahman. But when you really know Brahman, all talking, yes, then you say, he has become a muni now. Nothing to talk. About that voiceless experience, what can you talk? You have reached that highest state which can never be described in words. So whatever the student asks, like a Ramana Maharshi, we will see. Silence is the answer. Hence it is said, the beautiful word is used, Muni. He becomes Muni. Muni means one who is silent. He reaches that ultimate silence. And Samuni Nedaro Janaha, he is a true sage, not others, not the people who talk about it. Nayam Atma Pravajanena Lebhyaha na Bahuna Shrudena. Not they, not the scholars, not those who have some, jnanam of paroksha jnanam, not they. However, they may have made into chutney the old scriptures and drank it, not they. But as long as you have not understood this truth, you have not gained anything except some paroksha, intellectual knowledge, book knowledge. Never you must be satisfied with book knowledge. That book knowledge should become my own limitless experience. Then only I am a realized man, Muni Nedaro Janaha. He who has known Omkara as a matra, measureless, soundless, without parts, has also possessed of infinite sounds or parts, as negation of all duality and as all bliss. He is alone the real sage and not any other. Not any other. So, Turiya Omkara is a matra, Ananda matra, one who has infinite magnitude. A matra, Ananda matra means dimensionless dimension. That which has dimensionless, how can you measure him? Amatra also means immeasurable. Cannot be measured. Now the meaning is that it is not possible to measure its extension as thus far. It is all bliss as there is cessation of all duality. He who has known Omkara as explained is the real Muni because he has contemplated upon the nature of the highest reality. Any other person, even though he may be an expert in the knowledge of scriptures, is not a sage. So you know where you all stand. Without my saying. Every one of us know. There are miles to go, miles to go. Like frost, we will also feel like telling. Before we can rest, before we can become silent. A person who has realized Omkara as Turyatma is praised here. He is a Muni, and one without this knowledge is censured as he is subject to births and deaths and has not achieved the final goal of life's fulfillment. Om is a matra, as all the divisions of matras have disappeared. It is Ananda matra, as it is infinite and has no limitations. As there is no duality which is the cause of grief, it is absolute bliss. It was the ignorance of Atma which caused grief. Only he who realizes the Atma described in the first line is the real sage, attaining the final Purushartha, moksha. No other person, not even one possessing expert knowledge of scriptures, as the latter is Bahirmukhaha. One who has got a lot of knowledge is only Bahirmukhaha. He is looking always in the outer world. He is only a waker. You understand? For his knowledge is also a waking experience, nothing else. Expert knowledge, whose face is turned away from Brahman. Bahirmukhaha means not Andarmukhaha. Andarmukha only will be able to spot out Brahman. He is not Andarmukha. Here ends the Bhashya on the first chapter of the Karikas. Very profound and powerful are these verses. I am not taking any pride in thinking that I have told you anything extraordinary, but I know it has to be studied again and again, both by the teacher and the taught. I did not excuse myself, because it contains lot of things to be thought of. This Agama Prakarana, Agama itself means that which has come down to us in the illustrious lineage of Guru Shishya Parampara. That is called Agama. Agama is not somebody, some cranky fellow had written something and we are studying it all the time. No, 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 no. It has been again and again tested by the lineage of Shishyas. So whenever they say, how do you know Shastra is right? I know because it is the time-tested knowledge of many generations. A country which has preserved its culture for 5,000 and more years must have some resilience in its core. That is why we are able to maintain this till now. This knowledge, I am hopeful it will never go, because it has been given to us by Brahman himself. The knowledge has come down from Brahman straight away. So, and it is our duty to preserve it. Even if you teach one more person what you understood, you are helping to promote the Shastra. Even if you teach one person, one child, you have put in the way to God. You have done your duty towards the Rishis. Rishi Runam is over. So let it be like that. Continuous study of Mandukya is advised by Gurudev also. In the book he says, 10 verses of Kenopanishad, so many verses like that. Vivek Chudamani, so many verses. Every day, Parayanam. And in the end he writes Mandukya, as many times as you can. This is what he has written. As many times as you can read. And contemplate. I'll stop there. I'll get into the Vaidadhya Pramanam in the next class. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat